Hi everyone, my name is Surina. This is Now It's So Vivid. This video is my week 3 submission for the YouTube Pagan challenge, and I'm pretty excited because the question asks, do you have an altar, shrine, or sacred space? And the answer to that question is yes. So I thought instead of just giving you a one-word answer like I just did, I would show you a tour of my sacred space. I'm going to go back in time. I filmed the actual tour of my altar 2 days ago, so I hope you enjoy. Hello world! Welcome to my room, and welcome to my corner. This is my sacred space, one of them. I use other rooms in the house for sacred space as well, depending on what I'm doing. But this is my primary sacred space where I keep all of my tools and supplies and things, and my altar. So this is my altar. I've still got my decorations up from Beltane. I will probably be leaving those flowers up for a while. I also, for the first time this year, made my flower wreath to hang on my pentagram. This pentagram is actually something that I bought at like a local flea market, and is something that's pretty common to see on barns and country homes in sort of the rural parts of central Pennsylvania, which is something that I always thought was pretty charming about how just sort of the country lifestyle has sort of seeped into my own life. So this table is something that my fiance and I made together when we first started dating. I'll just show you real quick. There's a space for storage underneath, and then on the sides, hopefully the lighting's not too bad here, we've got a goddess symbol over here, the triple moon symbol, and then this side has the god symbol, and then these panels come out if I ever need to do some cleaning. And that was a really good project for us to do together, one of our first as a couple. And then on the surface of my altar, I have some stones that I had out for Beltane this year. This is one of my athames. I have two. These are my prayer beads, specifically for the Wheel of the Year. I can show these to you in more detail in another video if you like. There's big stones for all of the spokes on the Wheel of the Year, the high holidays, and then different pearls for new and full moons, and then these are elemental diamonds, diamond-shaped rocks, and then my pentacle at the bottom. And then this is something that I just started decorating last week. It is a travel altar. I was so excited and inspired by a lot of the travel altars that I saw on Pinterest and elsewhere in the internet, where people would take Altoids tins, and this is an old cigarette case that a friend gave to me back when I was still smoking, and I put some incense matches in there, and then this pouch has a few items. Here's a feather, and then I've got another pentacle, and then a little vial of salt, and there's like other stuff in there too. I don't really feel like pulling them all out piece by piece because I'm doing this one-handed. So that's a new innovation, and I took this with me when I went to Cowan's Gap, and will come with me this weekend when I go on another camping adventure, cabin adventure, I should say. This right here is a ponderosa pine cone, I think. I'm gonna pick it up. What does it say? Yep, ponderosa pine cone from Yosemite National Park, and my future father-in-law was kind enough to give this to me, painted in all of its silver and gold glory for Christmas one year, which I thought was a really lovely gift. So that is my representation of the divine masculine right now. And then I bought this beautiful goddess statue on Etsy. This year for Beltane, I made my own mini maypole, which keeps falling apart. There's like pieces of glitter and sequins and stuff that I just find sprinkled on the carpet now. But that was a fun little project. It was just the handle of a beat-up wooden spoon that my fiance helped me get into this little piece of wood, and then I decorated it. I painted it with like copious amounts of glitter paint, and then stuck some of the flowers that I bought at the dollar store, so that's still up there for now. This is my pentacle, which I made myself. I didn't carve the wood or anything. This was a wooden plinth or whatever you call them that you get at sort of the craft store for certain projects, and I just wood burned the pentacle image onto it and then sort of sprayed it with a shellac to seal it, and now it works. It's great for putting my cauldron on here so that the wood surface doesn't damage my altar table, because it is so precious to me. And then if we could just take a brief look in the underbelly, which I apologize if this doesn't register quite well. I've got a candle snuffer, some bowls, my cauldron is back there. This is candles, the mortar and pestle. I have a vessel back there that's full of nothing but beach sand from various beach trips that I've gone to throughout the years. This is a cigar humidor that I procured from a friend of mine who was trying to get rid of it. And then I have some extraneous. Here's my other athame, the very first athame I ever bought, with its beautiful sheath. And just some random charcoal. And this is my deck of tarot cards. This is my favorite deck. It is, I embroidered this pouch with a symbol for the third eye chakra. I'm sorry, I'm struggling. The Revelations Tarot is actually one of the best ones that I found for me when I was first learning to do tarot, because each picture on these cards is almost the way that sort of a bicycle deck of playing cards is, where there is an image on the top side, but if you turn it over, there is another image. And in these, the image on the flip side is supposed to be what the reversed image symbolism is supposed to be. So I highly recommend the Revelations Tarot to anybody who's interested. I have the companion book as well, and that really helped me when I was first learning. That was a really good learning tool. There's my wand, and there's my compass. This is a knife that I use to do some carving and other things. I guess that's it for right here. I'll worry about putting that stuff away later. To the right here we have, this is a black marble pyramid that I found at an antique marketplace nearby that I use as a grounding stone. It's a very dense, like this thing is really heavy, and I always cleanse it once every new moon, if I remember, and it helps as sort of like a grounding aid whenever I'm doing some really deep energy work. And then this is one of the things that I just made yesterday, and this is a scrying mirror, and this is made out of a picture frame that I got at the thrift store that I then decorated the hell out of, and I sprayed the underside of the glass with black spray paint to make the black image surface. And then on the left, this box is empty, but this is my very first chalice, and I really don't use it as a chalice anymore, not in the traditional sense. What I do use it for, and let's see if I can try to do it, not only, I'll actually have to put the camera down for this. I will place it. Alright, let's see if I can do it. I use that as a cleansing tool if I'm trying to cleanse a sacred space and I have a need for sonic energy. And then this is, right now, what is sort of acting as my besom. It's not really getting used very often because it's small and not terribly practical, but it is a broom that I got, again, at the thrift store, and then I wrapped it with all of this embroidery thread to make it pretty, and it is very beautiful, but just in a carpeted area, it doesn't really seem practical to be sweeping the floor with this, so it just hangs on my wall. Okay, so to the left here we have my bookshelf. My bookshelf is sort of broken up into different sections right now. The bottom is all of my journals, of which there are many, some in use, some in not, some in not, some not in use, some that were in use and the pages have been ripped out and are now open for use again in some other context. There's some other sort of extraneous materials down there, writing materials. And then up here, I keep all of my essential oils in here. I keep some other oils, carrier oils and stuff back there. This is my smoke cleansing device. Lovely piece of shell that I got at a store along with a sage bundle. I use this fan in sort of my smoke cleansing. And, oh, there's some old money in here. I collect old money, and sometimes that's useful in spell work. And then what's in here? Oh, yeah, these are my crystals. Again, another example of trying to open something with only one hand. There we go. So, these are my smaller crystals. The ones that aren't on my altar get stored in this box. Got some of these bad boys in there too for wearing them whenever I need to. And lots of notes because I often forget what my crystals are. Books. The Encyclopedia of Fairies, which is one of my favorites. This is a scrapbook that just has some personal mementos in there. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Feel free to check out my titles. Again, in a constant state of flux. I've donated a lot of my books over the years, so this is just what's left over, but it's already spilling over onto the top shelf. Oh, there are my books, my Kemp books, the Romani spellbooks that I have. The Secret is here. I'm not ashamed. These are all of my empty bottles. And then up here we have my scales, which I use on the equinoxes for my balancing rituals. And I've got some quill pens and an inkwell there. And this candle, just in case anybody is wondering, is strictly for the sexy times. It's wonderful. The other new contribution to my sacred space at this time is this shelf. It holds, you know, various herbal blends, and then these are my tea washes for the divine masculine and feminine. There's some like art water there because I collect my art water. Graveyard dirt from my Graham's house, salts, black and white, various sort of dried herbs and stream water, seawater, eggshells, and then these two hooks. And I liked it because I thought that maybe I'd be able to dry flowers or herbs here. So yeah, that's really a very welcome contribution to the sacred space right now. So that's it. Oh! And before we go, there's some random items in the corner there, but I just finished decorating this yesterday. It's not totally finished, but it is. I'm so proud of it. This is, for all intents and purposes, my wand, my main wand. I know it's not who has the biggest wand, but the most effective. This piece of wood was found for me at a location that is very dear to me. It's actually where I'm going this weekend, this sort of cabin where me and my friends go to retreat once a spring and sometimes in the autumn as well. And I wood burned an incantation into it, and the start of the incantation says, "This is my hand, my heart, and my will." And I thought because she was an extension of my hand that I should name her Dextra. So that is her name. And I decorated her last night with all of these stone chips and finished some additional wood burning. There's like some pencil marks in here. Just ignore those. But then I also finished by wrapping the top of her and putting some beads And then my fiance helped me insert this quartz crystal into the top of her. And she's got a leather handle. And isn't she beautiful, you guys? I'm just gonna put her down so that we can sort of admire her. I am very, very proud of this project. It was a few years in the making, and now she is dressed to kill. So that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the tour of my sacred space today. I certainly enjoyed showing it to you. It's one of my favorite activities to look at other people's altars and draw inspiration from them, and just sort of not even on YouTube, like in real life, whenever I get to view their space. It's really cool. It's like seeing their bookshelf for the first time and getting an intimate understanding of how their mind works. And it's so sweet when people are willing to share a part of themselves that's so very personal. So for that reason, I really hope that you're having as much fun as me. Well, I will see everybody next week. I hope you're all having a good one, whatever that one may be, day, night. And I want you to all know that you're beautiful. Bye! What a lover.